We're just going to have a reminder of our laws of indices and remind ourselves how surds and indices are related. So first of all, we just remind ourselves if we've got two indices which are multiplied together and they have the same base number here, then if we want to multiply x cubed by x to the 7, we simply add the powers and we get x to the 10. Similarly, we know that division is the opposite of multiplication, so you may, by intuition, or you may remember that we're going to do the opposite. We're going to subtract. Okay, so those were our laws of indices. We had one more, which was if we had, say, x to the 3, then that was raised to the power of 7. That means that we've got x cubed times x cubed, x cubed, x cubed, x cubed, x cubed, x cubed. Adding all of these 3's together, we're going to have 3 7 times. So we get x 3 times 7, x to the 21. Those are our basic laws of indices from GCSE. One thing that we may notice here is we've actually got a negative power. Now, how we usually think of indices as how many lots of x am I multiplying. So in this case here we had 3 lots of x multiplied together and then 7 lots of x multiplied together, giving us 10 lots of x multiplied together overall. That idea doesn't really make sense here. We can't have minus 4 lots of x multiplied. So what was that one actually meaning? What does a negative index actually mean? Another way to write our division would just be to use a fraction. Writing this out the long way, we've got x, x, x over x, 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 and then 3 of these will cancel, meaning that we had x to the 4 as a denominator, which we know from above means x to the minus 4. So this idea of a negative index just means that actually we have the reciprocal of x to the 4. Negative powers imply we have a reciprocal. One other thing that we may wonder is, well, how do we represent square roots as an index? That kind of has some idea of multiplying a certain number of x's together, but how many of them? Well, it may not be immediately obvious. So you'll think, well, I know what the square root of x means. The square root of x means what number multiplied by itself is equal to x. I now want to write these in index form. So I'm saying, what number would I need to have there, which when I multiply it by itself will give me x. Sneaky 1 there, we just have 1 lot of x. So I can use my previous index laws to understand this. I know that that can be written as x to the power of a plus a, or 2a. So I can see, looking at this, that my 2a must be 1. As those numbers are both x, these powers must be the same if they're equal. Therefore, that unknown power is just a half. Meaning that, almost by definition really, I can write the square root of x as x to the half. Similar argument would mean the cube root of x is x to the 3rd, and so on. Those are our basic index laws, and we've also explained what a negative index means. Negative indices mean the reciprocal of x to the 4 in this case, and also what fractional indices mean. That denominator tells us the root which we were taking. So x to the half means the square root of x. X to the 3rd means the cube root of x. And then if I were to say the cube root of x squared, we know using our previous index law, that just means multiply the indices together. So the cube root of x squared would be x to the 2/3. And that's everything we need to know about indices and surds.